Hi, Connor Gunn here from Lethbridge News Now. Welcome to the weekly from LNN, where we go over some of the biggest stories from this past week and what you can look forward to this weekend. The Chief of Lethbridge Police is acknowledging the severity of allegations brought against its members. On Wednesday, Chief Shaheen Medizadeh reinforced his commitment to hold accountable anyone found guilty of misconduct.
Information is power when you look at it. And the police is trusted with a lot of information about our citizens that we have in our databases. And any time that trust is violated by any employee is a serious matter. So that's all I can provide you at this time. But again, the matter is under investigation. Let's not make judgments before we actually have the facts. And once we have them, we are going to move forward with the way that's responsible, legal, and with respect to the processes that we have in this country that we need to adhere to.
He says LPS is dedicated to honorable, bias-free policing, and they have established policies to support and reinforce that standard. The issue surrounds concerns brought forward by Lethbridge West MLA Shannon Phillips regarding LPS members spying on her and accessing her private information. A third trial has been ordered for David and Colette Stephan. The Southern Alberta couple were acquitted in 2019 of failing to provide the necessaries of life. They were first charged following the death of their 19-month-old son in 2012. The appeal court says comments made by the judge towards the chief medical examiners demonstrated, quote, a reasonable apprehension of bias. In his decision, the judge repeatedly mentioned the way Nigeria-born Dr. Bamidele Adeogbo speaks, so he was therefore deemed to not be a credible witness. Those comments are now before the Canadian Judicial Council, and a date for retrial has not been set. Alberta fully moved to Step 2 of easing COVID restrictions earlier this week. This included easing measures for retail, sports, performances, and facilities such as community centers, banquet halls, and hotels. Health Minister Tyler Shandro says based on lower hospitalization numbers and cases, it was safe to move ahead. All restrictions and information can be found at lethbridgenewsnow.com. Alberta's final bill for the now defunct Keystone XL pipeline won't be much higher than $1.3 billion. Finance Minister Travis Taves wasn't specific in his numbers, and the province previously promised $1.5 billion directly and $6 billion in loan guarantees to the project. U.S. President Joe Biden, on his first day in office, canceled the pipeline's permit in January. Lethbridge now has its first mayoral candidate for this fall's municipal elections. Stephen Mogden says economic recovery would be his top priority, and he would try to balance proper tax rates and finding efficiencies. To deal with Lethbridge's social issues, he advocated for a compassionate approach combined with higher police funding. Voting day is October 18th. April 7th is now officially known as Green Shirt Day in Lethbridge. It's in honor of Logan Boulay, who was killed in the Humboldt Broncos bus crash in 2018. His father, Toby, says he feels honored by the city and is happy they made this act of kindness. The Boulays and all families who lost loved ones from the crash will be recognized April 7th as a day to remember, and now the city of Lethbridge will as well. House of Cards Lethbridge has made Carol Hutchison's week. Well, she was in a collision recently that totaled her vehicle, and also she had lost her job. She was in a desperate need of a new car. That's when House of Cards Lethbridge owner Hutch Orr stepped in. He was a witness to the accident and, along with his team, arranged to give Hutchison a 2012 GMC Sierra SUV for free. Hutchison said she was shocked and so grateful for the generosity of the House of Cards team. Mackenzie Porter has snagged a nomination at the 2021 Juno Awards. The Medicine Hats artist album Drinkin' Songs The Collection is nominated for the Country Album of the Year. Porter said she is, quote, so pumped, and called her fellow nominees amazing people and incredibly talented. You can see if Mackenzie takes home any hardware at the Junos on June 29th. Well, those are just a few of the stories we've been covering this week. To stay up to date on the latest local and regional news, head over to lethbridgenewsnow.com or find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and our Lethbridge News Now app. If you have any stories or topic you'd like us to follow, well, send us a message. Thanks for watching, and tune in next Friday for another edition of The Weekly with me, Connor Gunn. Have a great weekend.